הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד. Now no one knows this, right? Okay. Okay, ready? הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב דה 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 הנה מה טוב What is it? הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב You got it? הנה מה טוב הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד מה טוב אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל You got it? מה טוב אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שבת אחים גם יחד All right. You know, a lot of times when we do Rebbe Soul concerts, we actually open with a song because it's a song of welcome. And that's the way we welcome the Shabbat as well. So this is, you may know like, right? Everybody know that? Everybody comfortable with that? Well, we're not going to do that one, so. You might know this one. This is, well, it's a little more groovy. Like when we do the Rebbe Soul thing, they're always like grooves for days. And I particularly like that too because as a musician, you know, before I started my whole Rebbe Soul thing, you know, we had to like I did a lot of like studio work and played for other artists in Los Angeles, and so you know you got a chart in front of you, your eyes are glued to the chart, you're doing all this, and you know it's kind of like I remember looking at the flute player next to me, and he's going like, dude, dude, you know. So it's kind of like when I started the whole Rebbe Soul thing, I had so much fun because we just played grooves. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm probably going to put like maybe 3 chords down, and that's it. And for the rest of it, we're just going to have loads of fun. And I realized later that, you know what, that's exactly what Miles Davis did. So I figured I was probably in good company. So it was a cool thing, you know. So anyway, so here's the song of welcome. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Sharet Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachi Sharet Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachi Sharet Malachi Elyon mi melech מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. So you ask the angel of peace, you welcome the angel of peace, and then for the next verse, you ask the angel of peace to come in, and that's Boachem, like this. Boachem shalom, malachi shalom, malachi elyon, mimelech malachi hamelachim, akadosh baruch hu. Boachem shalom, malachi shalom, malachi elyon, mimelech malachi hamelachim, akadosh baruch hu. Boachem shalom, malachi shalom, malachi elyon, mimelech malachi hamelachim, akadosh baruch hu. Now the next part, you ask the angel of peace to bless you with peace. So bless me is Bachuni. Bachuni? One more time, Bachuni? Okay, now everyone under the age of 18, Bachuni? See, that's pretty good over there. Okay, they got it. That's a pretty good crowd right here. And by the way, you know, your clapping is great. Usually there's a major groove alarm that happens. Like whenever we do things like this, like you know, some of the people are on, then there's somebody like, oh my God, why did I do this? You know, but this is actually pretty cool. So, so I congratulate you. Where were we? Bless me, Barchuni. Okay, 3, 4. Barchuni l'shalom, malachi shalom, malachi elyon, mimelech malachi hamelachim, akadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachi shalom, malachi elyon, mimelech malachi hamelachim, akadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachi shalom, malachi elyon, mimelech malachi hamelachim, akadosh baruch hu. Now, this came off an album called Regesh, which was all this like kind of Jewish, like sort of reggae stuff. So that's why I'm skanking right now. In fact, if any of you want to say Yaman, now is a good time to do it. Yeah, that's you got it. Right. So the last part, we say you actually tell the angels that they may now leave in peace. So you've welcomed them, you've asked them to come in, you've asked them to bless you, and now at the end, you say these words that if you go to Israel and if you visit some of the Moshavim and places there, when you are leaving out of the gates, you'll always see these words, Tzeitchem l'shalom, which, anybody? Yeah, somebody said it. Say it again. Right, leave in peace. So you're now saying to the angels of peace to now leave in peace. And some people you'll find actually when they do the Shalom Aleichem, like in their homes, they'll leave out this last part saying, well, you know, we don't want them to leave. But I figure there's plenty to go around, and it's kind of like telling Santa Claus, you know, all right, stay there at the bottom of our fireplace. You're not going anywhere now, pal. We got you, you know. So it's Seitchem B'Shalom. Here we go. Seitchem B'Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi Hamelachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. tzeichen shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon, mimelech malachei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Tzeichen shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon, mimelech malachei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu. Baruch hu. We're just about to get ready to do the candle lighting, and just as kind of like an intro to that, I want to tell you just a little bit about this, a little Rebbe Soul story for you here. The first song that I really wrote for this project, which turned out to be kind of like a whole career really for me, was a song that came out of a Shabbat dinner. I was in LA. I was a musician in LA, typically, playing on various recording sessions, and you play with different artists. You're in like 15,000 bands at the same time. It's that kind of thing, showcasing here, and it's one of those kind of lives that you live. And I heard about this dinner, like a Friday night dinner, hosted by a rabbi in LA. Where they were inviting people from the entertainment business. And so I somehow heard about it because I'm a musician, so I heard about it, and I decided, well, it's a Friday night, and I didn't have a gig to play. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go and check it out. And so I went there, and it was really, really cool. There were about 30 people, a lot of business people, people and then some actors, actresses, maybe some other musicians, but mostly people in that entertainment business, which is so big in Los Angeles, right? And one of the things that I noticed is when they were lighting the candles, all the women got up, and the girls, got up, and they all massed around tons of these candles, and they all lit the candles and they sang the bracha together. And I tell you, it just got me right there. I just thought, wow, that's really something. And so I decided I was going to write a song about it, which I'm going to share with you in just a second. And it's called Sister Sarah. And let me just, this is by the way, the major choreography of the evening is what I'm doing right now. So I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the choreography, though. That was it right there. So when I wrote the song, I just had this image in my mind, and it was really striking to me, and I was really struck by the fact that there were this beautiful female presence bringing light into the world. And I thought, wow, that's really, really something. And it really, really struck me. And I ended up sitting across the table from some of them, and they were beautiful. And I thought to myself, hey, wait a minute. And they're Jewish, and I'm Jewish. Wait a minute, what have I been missing out on? So it changed my whole life, really. And I thought, well, I'm gonna, when I wrote the song, I pretty much doing a lot of the music work that I did. Fortunately, there were a lot of great songwriters. I played on some of the recordings, and they were really great songwriters. So I was just accustomed to hearing what a good song sounded like. But I didn't really know much about writing lyrics. The only music that I'd ever written really was just music, for certain things, like little cues and things like that. And so I just figured, well, okay, I'm going to kind of write some lines and just, rhyme the words, and that'll be good for the first time out here. I'm just going to give that a try. And so that's what I did. I had this little notebook in my car, because my car is pretty much, being in LA is where I spent 90% of my time, in my car. And so I was writing down, like, I think of something, I say, oh, okay, this is kind of a cool line, and by the way, here's a rhyme right here. Well, how about that? I'm really getting somewhere with this. And so it just kind of, and the lines just sort of flowed, you know. It took a couple of weeks, or I think something like that. And it just kind of flowed. I remember, you know, waiting outside rehearsals and stuff like that while I was waiting for, you know, everybody to show up, and I would take my little notebook and write a little bit more. And that went on the first album. So, but it goes like this. She's got a smile that sparkles and eyes that dance. The smell of her skin suggests romance. Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah. When I see you there with your shoulders bare, turn me on, Sister Sarah. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's my soulmate, a woman I've always felt. When she lights the candles, my heart just melts. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. I wanna take you home and get you all alone. Turn me on, Sister Sarah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about this story. So this song made it on the first Rebbe Soul album, and to my utter surprise, it actually got on the radio. And, you know, without like a record deal or anything, I wasn't anybody famous or anything like that. So it was on the radio, and so, you know, once that happened, I started getting invited to a lot of Shabbat dinners after that, you know. So, and so anyway, it's Purim Eve, okay? Purim Eve, where we take our drinking very seriously. And I was invited, I remember there were 3 Purim parties all in Los Angeles. So I was going from one to the other, and one of them, the last one, ended up in Pico Robertson, understandably. And so I pulled up, and this was at the home of a rabbi who was on sabbatical from Israel. He was a Breslov rabbi, and he was like one of the authorities on Rebbe Nachman, like a real scholar and very interesting guy. And so I was invited there, and I got there. It was pretty late already. It was like midnight or maybe later. So I remember I got up there, and there's a little path that leads to the front door, and I'm walking up the path, and there's a guy passed out on the lawn over here, you know, in the fine Purim tradition, of course. And I get to the front door, and it was open. There's a screen door there, so I could see in. And I'm looking at this long table, and at the other end is this rabbi. And so I open the door, I walk in, and he looks up, and he said, "Rebbe Soul, turn me on, Sister Sarah." Seriously, you know, fact is always better than fiction, you know, it's true. And I thought to myself, man, did these guys like listen to the radio or anything? How do they even know about this? I was so surprised, you know. So I walked in, I closed the door behind me, and he goes, "You know, that's a very holy song." I remember this is the song, I just kind of rhymed the words, you know, I was just, okay, you know, dance, romance, oh, that works, okay, you know. So that's about as far as I went with it. And he said, "No, it's a holy song. Come over here, sit down right next to me. I want to tell you about this." And so I walked over there, and I'm walking toward the table, and there were a few guys there. Most of them are all like passed out and everything. And as I get closer to him, I kid you not, he had these long peyot, and they were, I kid you not, they were dripping in wine. there's a whole puddle like over the, under the sea. It was the weirdest thing. So so anyway, I walk over there, sitting down next to him, and he said, you know, Sarah is the mother of all the Jewish people. And if you go to a higher level, if you interpret this on the next level, I found out there's like a multi-level like marketing or something, like Amway or so, I don't know, something like that. You know, she represents the Shekhinah. Shekhinah is one of the words for God. It's a female word, actually, Shekhinah. And of course, you want her to turn you on. Of course you do. And then he starts going through a whole bunch of my other lines and explaining them to me. And remember, I was just kind of writing these things down. I mean, I remember like leaving there, and I was almost shaking. It was a real mystical experience. Well, we're all in white on our special day. I give you daddy the coin and he gives you away. Ooh, yeah. Well, tonight I'll say, when we get away, turn me on, Sister Sarah. 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 Yeah, yeah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah. Turn me on, Sister Sarah, yeah, yeah, yeah. All your life you've been waiting. All your life you've been waiting. All your life we've been waiting. All your life we've been waiting. All your life you've been waiting. All your life you've been waiting. All your life you've been waiting. All your life. There are many, many melodies to Lecha Dodi. The person that wrote this one, her name is Basia Schechter. A good friend of mine. She's in New York, and she is involved in a synagogue there. I forgot which one it is. One of the big synagogues there, actually. And she wrote this beautiful melody, and it's based on a Bulgarian, traditional Bulgarian melody. And when I heard it, I just thought, wow, this is great. And I'm not sure, a lot of people don't know this, but I'd love to share it with you just because I think it's really, really cool. And it goes like this, and you're definitely welcome to sing along. So. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabala. Want to try it? Lecha Dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabala. שם עובר זכור בדבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה. lecha dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabala. lecha dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabala. לקראת שבת לכו ונכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחסה בתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Now usually you go to Bo'i v'Shalom at this point here. This is the way you do it? Okay. So we face the opening. Wow, you're so well trained. My God, everyone knows this. Here we go. Bo'i v'Shalom עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי קלה, בואי קלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Sounds so good. Let's do another round. What do you say? לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ושמרו בני ישראל אל השבת, ושמרו בני ישראל אל השבת, ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Let's see, the next part is כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam. Quando Renimrad al campo salía, miraba en ese hielo y él estrellaría. Vida una luz santa en la ayudaría, que había de nacer Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel, luz de Israel. Cuando Renimrad al campo salía, miraba en el cielo y él estrellaría. Vida una luz santa en la ayudaría, que había de nacer Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel, luz de Israel. Cuando Renimrad al campo salía, miraba en el cielo y él estrellaría. Santa in the Judaria che avvia della seir Abraham Avinu Padre querido Padre bendicho luz de Israel Abraham Avinu Padre querido Padre bendicho luz de Israel luz de Israel luz de Israel luz de Israel, luz de Israel. אדון עולם השם עלה בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני למען שילה והחבירה בלי ראשין בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמזרח והוא אלי וחגואלי בצור חבלים בצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי למען כוסי ביום אקרא בידו הפקיד רוחי והייתי שם בעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי וחגואלי ויובירה אדון עולם השם עלה בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. So this is definitely a prayer for peace. I did this. This is on I Changed the World with a Sound album, and this is one of these things. We had a concert coming up at there was a club in LA called Billboard Live. Billboard magazine had this club, and it was the night before we needed another tune. I thought, oh man, I got to think of something. So I wrote this like at the rehearsal, like in about 20 minutes, and I just went around to the bandmates and said, "Can you play this?" You know, and I pound out a rhythm or something. Bass player, can you play that? And then of course, if they had changes, they would modify it. But it turned out to be one of our favorite tunes. It was real cool and real simple, and it goes kind of like this. Here's the stripped down version. Let's see. Why can't it be now? Why can't it be today? Why can't it be now? Why can't it be today? What am I saying? Yeah, you got it. Why can't it be now? Why can't it be today? Shalom, salam, kozun rufu'om shanti. Shalom, salam, kozun rufu'om shanti. Why can't it be now? Why can't it be today? You got it? Yeah. Why can't it be now? Why can't it be today? Okay, just you? Yeah. Shalom, salam, kozun rufu'om shanti. Shalom, salam, Kozen Rufu Om Shanti. Shalom, Salam, Kozen Rufu Om Shanti. Shalom, Salam, Kozen Rufu Om Shanti. Okay, so the words, some of you were pretty quick in singing it anyway. First word is simply shalom. Perfect. Second word means the same thing, and it's salam. Interesting how close they really are. Next one is Kozen Rufu. Oh, wow, that was pretty good. Okay. Usually it's a major train wreck when we get to that play right there. It's okay, so Kozen Rufu, the singer on our Rebbe Soul band, she's a chanting Buddhist, and so she taught me this thing. Kozen Rufu means world peace, and I think it's in... well, it's in Chinese caricatures, but I think it's Japanese. I'm not sure, but that's what they chant. They chant for world peace. And again, it's Kozen Rufu. One more time. Perfect. Next one, Shanti. Okay, a lot of you know that one too. And you may hear me say Om Shanti. And I say Om Shanti. Everyone thinks I had some deep spiritual, reason in mind. But the fact is, and the poet here, Rick, will understand, I simply needed another syllable. So it became Om Shanti. Actually, on the album, I need the syllable. This is a true story. I did Ashanti, and then one of the first times the album was out, it was all over the place, and I did one of my first real intimate concerts without the band. It was like one of the first times without the band I ever played. And I did this series of house concerts, one after another in Texas, which I thought, after doing them, I reflected, house concert, Texas, that's the perfect place to do stuff like this. All that down-home kind of, it was like perfect, And so it's very close, like we're sitting kind of like we are now, pretty close. And I did, and Kozen Rufu, Om Shanti, and then I'm hearing, and since it's so close, I can hear people, and I hear, no peace. And I thought, uh-oh. What does that mean, And so, and I could see, and the people there, they were definitely like from India or Pakistan or something, just by looking at them. And so I kind of stopped, and since it's a house concert, you can be kind of informal, like I'm doing right now. And I asked him, what do you mean? Well, apparently in Hindi, if you put an "a" in front of something, it negates the word itself. So here we go, Shanti means no peace. I'm thinking to myself, man, I just released this album. It's on the radio. It's mixed. It's mastered. We've made like all these thousands of copies of this thing. So, anyway. So now it's Om Shanti, okay? All right. So here we go. Shalom, Salam, Kozen Rufu Om Shanti. 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 What can it be now? What can it be today? Your turn. Lama lo achshav? Lama lo hayom? Shalom, Salam, Kozen Rufu Om Shanti. 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 Okay, just you this time.